yeah, I'm gonna talk to you about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about sex, baby. And don't you get the wrong idea. Don't you dare get the wrong idea. I'm just singing the song, okay? Hi guys. So I wanted to, touch base on like, kind of like a touchy kind of a topic that not a lot of people like to talk about. Well, guess what? Asher, baby boo. Well, it sounds weird when I say it. Well, Asher here is going to talk to you about sex. Oh yeah. Okay, not a lot of people like to talk about sex. Sex is just, overrated. I'm just kidding. Sex is not overrated. But it's something that, you need to talk about and something you need to know, and stuff happens. But let's talk about something. Sex is a beautiful thing. And it's something that, is shared between a man and a woman. Everyone knows that I am a Christian and sex is something that God created. Okay? You have to make sure that if it's your first time, wait till you're ready. Don't, feel any pressure about, your age, or you're 30 and you're still a virgin. Don't listen to that, because all that trash out there in the world is not worth listening to, Don't let a man or a woman trick you into sex or having sex with them. If you really love me, babe, you'll have sex with me. That's how a lot of people, lose their virginity, or just, stuff like that happens, because that's life. If you really love me, you'll do it with me. Baby, if you really love me, you would do this one thing for me. It's just sex. Yeah, to you, it's just sex. Hello. Stuff like that is something that, people would say to you. Don't let that trick you. And don't get confused with love and lust, because love and lust is two different things, honey. Love is something that, it's a bond between you and that person, and something you can trust. You know when you're in love. Lust, okay, lust is something that you, like, how do I describe it? It's something that you desire, and you just, you want sex. A real man or a real woman that loves you will respect everything and all your values, everything about you, and they would wait for you. That's a real man, or that's a real woman for you right there. If they're willing to wait for you and wait till you're ready, that's something that's special, and they love you that much that, true love waits. You want your first time to be special, not, made up, like you have this whole, dream and you're going exactly by your dream. Sometimes your first time is not gonna match, what you're thinking in your brain. I'm sorry, ladies or men, whatever. Mainly the ladies. Sex can be really awkward. Maybe your first time, it's just awkward because no one has ever seen you naked. Have you ever thought about that? No one, and it's just weird because this person in front of you is like about to see everything, and it's just weird, The only person that's seen you naked is your parents. Right? Sex to be with somebody that you're going to be with for the long run. You know that you guys are going to work. Don't do it with someone that, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. That is someone temporary. Someone that's just not going to be there for you. Someone that's just, a dweeb. I regret him. I regret sleeping with her. I regret this, I regret that, or, I wish, I didn't do it with them, or whatever. Anything to do with sex, they wish they didn't do this, they didn't do that. But you know what? People should not, regret things, because, in that moment, in that very moment that you wish that you regretted, in that moment, that's exactly what you wanted. So don't regret anything. You learn from it and you move on from your mistakes. To be honest with you, it doesn't matter who your first time or who your first person is. It matters who the last person is in your life. Any first love, first person you had sex with, any first thing or whatever, it doesn't matter who that first thing is. It matters who your last is. And if your first is your last, then power to you, lady, or power to you, man. YOLO. Okay, but no. But that's no excuse to be a hoe, though. Make sure you love that person. Make sure it's not, you know, if this friends with benefits kind of deal. You know, that kind of stuff does not work. I'm sorry to say, but that's in another video. Yeah, I'll link it. Sex is special, especially for women, because it's something, you know, you can't overdo. It's not something you can just take back, you know, and especially if it's your first time. I don't know what happened in this world where sex is just something that you just flip on the TV and it's right there in front of you, or you just flip on any, like, anything. Just go on the internet and you'll find it everywhere. And it's disgusting, you know. It's just like, sex used to be this, you know, beautiful thing, and it is a beautiful thing, something that was created by God, and something that, you know, should be sacred and should be, you know, kept, you know, private, or, you know, it's very important, you know. However, you know, sometimes it's not that important to people, which is very sad. Sex is something that, you know, should not be taken for granted. It's between a woman and a man, you know, showing each other how they love each other, and just showing that affection and passionate, you know, love and bond. But now it's just disgusting because the world has corrupted, you know, sex. Be careful physically and mentally and emotionally. Just be careful. Okay? Okay. Okay, okay, okay. I just wanted to touch base with you about sex. Sex, sex, sex. See you in my next video. Bye. It was in a commercial. I forget what commercial this is, but why was it in a commercial? That's disgusting. You know, it was in the morning time, and I'm like eating my Cheerios. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. And just, sex is very just awkward. It's awkward. Like that awkward silence like this.